Don't adjust your sets, that really did just happen. Welcome to Watch Mojo UK, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 WTF moments in EastEnders. Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. For this list, we're looking at the weirdest and most implausible moments from the BBC's long-running soap opera. Number 10, You Ain't My Mother. This tale, featuring sisters Zoe and Kat Slater, was actually nominated for Best Storyline at the 2002 British Soap Awards, so hooked was everyone on watching it unfold. It hinges on Zoe deciding that she's going to Spain to spend time with her Uncle Harry.
Uncle Harry's asked me to go and work in his pub in Spain, and I said yes.
You are joking.
But then, Kat's objection leads to a catfight and this startling revelation outside a curry house.
You can't tell me what to do, you ain't my mother! Yes, I am!
Later, we learn that Harry abused Kat as a child and is actually Zoe's father. As perhaps one of the most quoted lines in British soap opera history, it established the Slaters as one of the square's central families.
It wasn't my fault. What one? He told me I was his special girl.
Number 9, George Michael's Bins. It's not all murder and mayhem in this show. The soap has run simpler stories on recycling and parking fines too, but when it comes to trivialness, nothing matches the 2009 plot about Heather's obsession with George Michael.
But it's all for a good cause.
Yeah, because I'm going to see George Michael's house!
After Heather drags Shirley to the singer's house, the women peek through windows and rummage through bins before making off with a memento of a yogurt pot lid.
This is Bins! It's George's Bins!
To make the whole celeb spotting business even more anticlimactic, it turns out the house wasn't even George's. As dramatic storylines go, this one was just rubbish.
I don't give a monkeys. I don't give a big fat steaming monkeys.
Number 8, Bobbie kills Lucy. After Lucy Beale was found murdered in 2014, EastEnders fans reportedly wagered more than £10 million on the identity of the killer at bookmakers up and down the country.
That's you.
There was no shortage of suspects either, with the BBC lining up 13 possible culprits.
So what was it Lucy said to you that was so bad you had to kill her?
I'm not going to go through every little detail, Ian.
The showmakers then dragged out the storyline for nearly a year, before revealing that the killer wasn't one of the 13 at all, but rather Lucy's younger brother, Bobbie.
Lucy, darling.
Apparently, the 11-year-old boy had battered his adult sister to death with a jewellery box because she made everyone unhappy. Hands up who saw that coming. You're a liar if you put your hand up.
Whatever she says, she started it. She made everyone unhappy.
Number 7, Boris Johnson drops by. There have been a number of memorable cameos on the show, with Robbie Williams, Nick Grimshaw and David Walliams among the stars to have featured at one point or another. But Boris Johnson's 2009 appearance will be remembered for all the wrong reasons.
Is that who I think it is?
Playing himself, the then Mayor of London stops by at the Queen Vic to speak to Peggy Mitchell, and the scene quickly spirals into a performance more wooden than the New Forest.
Such an honour to have you here, Mr. Mayor.
Oh, please call me Boris.
Which is strange, really, considering Boris's reputation for front-page PR stunts. You'd have thought he'd be in his element here.
I wouldn't dream of telling the Mayor of London what to do. Thank you so much.
Good.
Number 6, The Rooftop Fall. Christmas episodes of EastEnders are rarely stacked with seasonal cheer and often end in disaster, like in 2017, when Abby and Lauren Branning climbed to the Queen Vic's roof to try and stop their father Max from committing suicide.
Come with us! Now listen, we can talk about it!
Oh, I don't want to talk to you, Lauren. I know who I am.
But there was another deadly twist to come. As the sisters emotionally talk Max out of jumping, they wind up falling from the very same ledge. And the dark irony doesn't stop there. Back in 2010, Max's son Bradley also fell off the same roof when he was trying to escape from a policeman. Someone should seriously stop people from going on that roof. Number 5, Janine and Barry's honeymoon. There have been so many murders in and around Walford, it's beginning to feel like the crime capital of the world. But Janine's killing of car salesman Barry was as callous as it gets, and it didn't actually occur on Albert Square itself.
Ooh, I did some iffy things. But of all the filth I have had to endure for money, being with you was by far the foulest.
Having scammed the much-loved character into marrying her, she reveals the cold truth to him on their honeymoon before pushing him off a cliff.
Off me!
After the fact, Janine even clambers down to taunt Barry and watch him die.
Now do you believe me?
To make matters worse, she goes on to inherit Barry's whole estate, while his son Jack got nothing. Who says crime doesn't pay? Number 4, Nick tries to poison Dot. Another ruthless attempt to win an early inheritance, and this time the culprit is Nasty Nick Cotton, the man who once came forth in a Channel 4 poll of the most villainous TV characters.
And I got a bit of instant mash in the kitchen, so we'll have a shepherd's pie, eh? How about that?
The guy has quite the reputation, but he outdoes any of his past evil deeds here. At a creepy candlelit dinner for 2, Nick serves his mother a dodgy shepherd's pie, then makes small talk while he waits for her to eat it and pass away.
Bon appetit, as the French would say.
Bon appetit.
Fortunately for Dot, he can't go through with the crime and grabs the offending pie before she takes a bite. Anyone for pie and chips? Anyone lost their appetite?
Too much salt in it. Anyway, I didn't cook the mince proper.
It looked all right to me.
Number 3, Max Branning buried alive. Our second festive shocker, and another from the Brannings, this one features the revelation that Max is having an affair with his daughter-in-law Stacy. Perhaps not quite the Christmas TV the family was expecting. The response from betrayed wife Tanya, though, was more in keeping with a horror film than a soap. With the help of Sean, she gets revenge by drugging Max, dragging him through a wood, and burying him alive in a shallow grave. As you do. The Beeb was later reprimanded by Ofcom for scenes inappropriate for a pre-watershed audience.
Bye, Max.
Please.
Number 2, the baby swap. Cat Moon has starred in many far-fetched storylines over the years, even once discovering that she had a son she didn't know she'd given birth to.
What did he look like? I don't know.
But this moment left everyone shocked even by the Square standards, when grieving mother Ronnie switches her deceased baby for Cat's son Tommy.
That's my boy.
The episode prompted thousands of complaints, more than any other from the show, and even the actress playing Ronnie called it implausible.
This isn't James, it's Tommy.
EastEnders was accused of over-dramatising cot death, though Ofcom subsequently cleared the soap because the scenes were supposedly not unduly disturbing or graphic.
Cat, listen.
Number 1, Dirty Den returns. When it comes to EastEnders, death isn't always as final as you might think. Both Kathy Beale and Claudette Hubbard have seemingly returned from beyond the grave, but the most famous reappearance is that of Dirty Den in 2003. After he was shot 14 years previously, his body was identified by his adopted daughter Sharon. Miraculously though, Den survived, and staged one of the most talked about soap returns of all time.
Hello, Princess.
However, just 17 months later, he probably wished he'd stayed away from Albert Square, because he was killed a second time by the so-called Witches of Wolford. Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo UK, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.